Lead the Way, a podcast for school leaders with author, speaker, and educator, Dr. Bill Ziegler.
Welcome to Lead the Way, a podcast for ed leaders by ed leaders in 5 minutes or less. Today I'm with Dr. Quentin Lee, the principal of Childersburg High School in Childersburg, Alabama. Dr. Lee, it's so great to have you on the program today.
Hey, it's just an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
And also, before we get started, Dr. Lee, you want to share how you are a complete YouTube rock star with your Can't Touch This COVID germ-free type of video.
Well, we put out a video just to help warn and give our students the guidelines about coming back to campus, and it has gone viral. The first video was, of course, You Can't Touch This, by a popular song by MC Hammer. And we actually released another video called Germ Busters, which is a parody of Ghostbusters that is racing up the charts. So just really excited to have two products from a school about COVID-19 and the precautions that we're doing to keep our students safe.
No, that's good stuff. I love how you're teaching students positive messages through the power of video. Keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you.
Next, we're going to talk about empowering teachers to lead. Why don't you share with us some strategies that principals can use to empower their teachers to lead?
Definitely. The first strategy, and I think it's probably the most important strategy, is to trust your teachers. Our teachers are going through so much, and they're creating these lesson plans. They're creating these engaging opportunities for students to learn, and they're trying to close gaps. Trust your teachers. By trusting your teachers, you're going to open up a wealth of knowledge. That's one thing as a principal, an instructional leader. We always don't have to be in the forefront. We can actually train our teachers by trusting them and empowering them and giving those opportunities to lead, to help transform any campus by improving the educational process of each of the students simply by trusting our teachers. And in turn, the teachers will feel valued, appreciated, and they will continue to come to school each and every day to do the absolute best by students because they feel supported by the administrator.
Yeah, that's such a great point, how you talk about trusting your teachers and getting out of the way to allow them to lead. That's outstanding. How can a principal do that? What are some ways that you've done that and that you think principals can do that to empower their teachers to lead?
All right, 3 simple things. Number 1, professional development, making sure that you're putting the tools and resources in their hands so that they can lead and be equipped when they lead. Professional development should always be tied to something that's going to benefit the students, the culture, and the community of the schools and the communities that we serve. So making sure that professional development is relevant, and also share that professional development with your teachers. Allow them to lead some of the sessions just so that they can get that experience. Second thing would be build a relationship. Talk to your teachers at school, talk to them outside of school, get to know their families. It's all about building relationships and making those connections. And the third thing is let go. Let go of that control. Of course, we want to make sure that we're within the parameters, but allow them to be as creative as possible. Allow them to have that opportunity to, if they're making a mistake, hey, correct them, let's fix it. But by giving them the power and the authority to create and be whatever those students need in that moment, you're going to see some amazing things happen inside the classroom, and your schools will ultimately change.
Yeah, I totally agree with you that get out of the way. Sometimes it's easier said than done. And
definitely.
Yeah, I think it's so easy for leaders just to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we have to be is intentional in getting out of the way to allow people to lead and take that leadership by the reins. As we close out and, you're talking to educational leaders throughout the country, what's one word of advice you would give them in empowering their teachers to lead?
To be intentional. Be intentional with the conversations that you have with your teachers. Be intentional with the professional development that you put in front of your teachers. Be intentional how you lead. Because as leaders, we had to go through a period of growing. And the goal of being a leader is to help others grow to become leaders as well. So give them those opportunities so that they can show their leadership skills and help them improve their craft. Because ultimately, we're all going to benefit from it. And the most important people that will benefit from it will be the students.
Wow, that is so powerful, to be intentional. Great one word there of encouragement to our ed leaders out there. One word of encouragement, be intentional.
Absolutely.
As we close out here, how can our listeners learn more about you, Dr. Lee?
All right, well, they can follow my website, www.drquentinjlee.com, or they can look me up on YouTube and subscribe to Dr. Quentin J. Lee.
And be one of tens of thousands of subscribers that Dr. Lee has, because he is literally a rock star on YouTube. Thanks so much for being with us today on Lead the Way.
Thank you so much for having me.
You've been listening to Dr. Bill Ziegler with Lead the Way. Bill has great resources for school leaders at chaselearning.org. That's chaselearning.org. Thanks for listening to Lead the Way with Dr. Bill Ziegler.